We all know parenting is tough, but according to the latest research, mothers of middle schoolers suffer the most. Here with the details is WSJ work family columnist Sue Shellenbarger. Hi, Sue. We're talking about
Hello, Tanya.
Pretty comprehensive study. Is that right? Of more than 2,200 mothers?
That's right. Mothers were recruited over several years by flyers, word of mouth lectures, media reports, and surveyed on a wide range of characteristics: depression, anxiety, loneliness, their kids' behavior. And the study was so large that the researchers, led by Sunil Luthar at Arizona State, were able to actually isolate parents of kids in a particular age group, so they could compare, say, parents who only had very small children or only had middle schoolers. So it's pretty precise comparisons.
So we know the headline that middle school mothers are the most miserable, but does the study also identify when mothers are the happiest?
Interestingly, infants and mothers with adult children seem to report the least stress and the highest well-being.
You see, the adult child makes sense to me because your work is done. But what about the stressful baby years of no sleep, constant neediness? Aren't those as bad on a mother as middle school?
Well, it is. It could be certainly draining and grueling, and researchers were surprised at that finding too. But what they hypothesize is that holding that baby, babbling, smiling, playing with the baby, just the joy of having an infant offset some of those negative feelings, and you don't get such compensating joys in middle school necessarily.
No, you don't get that sweetness out of your middle school child. I can see that. I can actually see how the middle school years must be a sort of a perfect storm. I mean, kids are going through social changes, hormonal changes, school gets tougher, right?
I could so relate to the parents I interviewed for this story. The child goes through puberty, wants to distance him or herself from mom and dad, starts being very sensitive to peer rejection. They move to a big impersonal middle school and lose touch with old classmates. Teachers expect more. It's a perfect storm where children often just feel at sea, and so do parents.
And what about the friendships that mothers often forge with the parents of younger children, those friendships that give us such support? Do those friendships tend to fade as our kids get older?
They do, and even if the friendship survives, the closeness and the frequent contact subsides. Several of the parents I interviewed said that they just miss sharing things while waiting to pick up their kids after school or going to the field trip together. So yeah, sometimes parents' friendships wither as well.
So what exactly do mothers report feeling during this time, during the time of middle school?
Oh, it's interesting. With higher distress in terms of just running around, overload, parental guilt, worrying about a kid's behavior, and just lower well-being. And this was interesting. The researchers went deep on, do you feel empty? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel hopeless? And middle school mothers were low on well-being and very high on distress.
And what about dads? Do they get off scot-free, or do they feel this as well?
We don't know as much. No one has measured dads, apologies to dads, no one has measured dads' feelings in quite as much depth. Another study at Wake Forest University did include both moms and dads and found that during the middle school years, both moms and dads feel less effective as parents as the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades roll by. So we do know that dads get discouraged. Some of the dads I interviewed said, hey, you know, I decide myself too, and I reach out more for friends now. I do need more support. I wish I had more support, is what I heard from dads.
All right, so I guess I have a lot to look forward to. My kids are still in elementary school, so I have this ahead of me. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Tanya.